stand right here.
Okay.
Oh, she got to stand over here because I could be in my left hand in the Bible.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we can have a little quiet in the chambers. I'm Michael Carey, the city clerk. Today it is my pleasure to administer the oath of office to Councilman Holden, and we will get started right now. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
California,
the Constitution of the State of California,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
the office of
the office of
member of the City Council,
members of the City Council,
10th District,
10th District,
in and for the City of Los
in and
Angeles,
for the City of Los Angeles,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is certainly, in my view, a very historical moment for me. It's been a tough uphill climb, and when the gravel is rolling in the opposite direction, it's almost difficult to overcome, but never impossible. When the people are with you, propping you up and pushing up the inclined slope. And for that reason, Mr. President, members, I want to take this opportunity to thank the many people in the 10th District who continue to have the faith in me that I would be their best choice to represent the district for the next 4 years. I want to thank them for their vote, their prayers, and their support. That support was not only in the 10th District, but it was around the city of Los Angeles as well as the county. Because no matter where I go today, there are people saying, we're so happy for you and your constituents. We're so glad that you were able to overcome. And for them, I thank so very, very much. I want to thank the religious community for their prayers, the bishops and the ministers, all who were there with me on a continuous basis and never dissuaded to turn back. I want to thank two of my opponents, worthy opponents, who faced me in the primary election. And shortly after the people made a choice, they joined and said, we're with you. That's Scott Suh and Marsha Bryan. Give them a big hand. I want to thank my staff, and I want the public to know that without their continuous hard work and support, the things that we've been able to accomplish in the 10th District would not have happened at all. When they talk about something as simple as paving the streets and filling the potholes and trimming the trees, that's what the people have become accustomed to. That's what they want, and that improves the quality of life within the 10th District and hopefully within the city as well. We have a big job in front of us. Not going to make a big speech, but I do want to say this, that our children are our future. And even though I'm a council person, I'm not a member of the Board of Education, I will spend my hard work, my energy, and my efforts to support the new elected school board to guarantee that the best opportunity is provided for our children to have the best education so they can go on to have productive lives. There's another important problem that we face in our city and in our nation, and that is the homeless problem. It's sad, but it's with us and it's been with us for some time, and I think we don't do nearly as much as we should in order to help the homeless. It's been reported to me that we have at least 30,000 homeless people in downtown Los Angeles. 30% of them have mental problems, can't even help themselves, can't even provide for themselves, even if the resources were there. We have to memorialize Congress and the President of the United States to come to our aid and support us so that we can better support them. They really need it the most. And then, of course, we have our disadvantaged young people who too often drop out of school and end up in the penal institutions. We must turn that around. This is the richest nation ever on the planet Earth. We should invest, therefore, in our people. And once again, I will memorialize the President and the Congress to start a civilian conservation program nationwide like they had in 1939, the CCC, as a preventative program to help our youth. And it can be done. It's been successful in the past, and it'll be successful in the future. Well, there's come economic development, and I want to tell you, I want to cut a lot of ribbons with my President, John Ferrara, and some of these new developments. We have more than $500 million of development on the drawing board, and will be completed in the next 4 years. And for that reason, I just really wanted to be around to cut the ribbon to make sure those programs were finished and complete. Once again, I want to thank the people of the 10th District, of this city that we all care about so very much. Thank my staff and all my supporters for their support, for their prayers. God bless, and we'll be around for 4 more years to help you out. The doors are always open in the 10th District for you. Mr. Ferrara, this is the Bible. I had my hand on it. Took an oath for you, too.
Congratulations. That was an excellent speech. Congratulations. Yeah, yeah. It's lovely.
Where did Pierre and Walters go?
Okay, so after we're done, we'll both tally them up.
Yeah, we'll let me get this out of the way for a while. We're waiting for Chick Savornich and Ridley Thomas. Pierre and Walters did walk in.
We need them to be present.
Yes.
Yeah. Members of the City Council? If we can all find our seats. Before I start finding members. Council is now in regular session. Will the council please come to order? Mr. Carter, please call the roll.
Burnson, Chick, Ferraro, Galanter, Goldberg, Hernandez, Holden, Pacheco, Ridley Thomas, Zavornich, Wax, Walters, 12 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
This being the first legislative day of the month, and in accordance with the custom of the council, I would ask Councilmember Burnson to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please stand?
Please place your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The term of office for the council president expired on June 30th, 1999. A quorum being present, the first order of business will be the election of a president of the city council by a majority vote. Historically, the council has elected the president by an oral roll call vote taken in alphabetical order. Unless I hear an objection, the roll of the council will be called by the minute clerk for the purpose of electing a council president. As your name is called, you will respond by naming the member of the council you wish to elect to the office of the president of the city council. Mr. Carter?
Mr. Burnson,
Ferraro.
Ms. Chick,
Mr. John Ferraro.
Mr. Ferraro, Mr. Fuhrer,
Ferraro.
Ms. Galanter,
Ferraro.
Mr. Hernandez,
Ferraro.
Mr. Holden,
And for the next president of the City Council, City of Los Angeles, Mr. John Ferraro.
Mr. Pacheco, Ms. Mizikowski,
Ferraro.
Mr. Ridley Thomas is absent, Mr. Zavornich,
Ferraro.
Mr. Wax, Ms. Walters.
Well, that being unanimous, I congratulate Mr. Ferraro. If I can ask Councilmember Pacheco and Councilwoman Chick to escort the new president up to the desk. Oh, we're going to do it, okay. All right. I'm on page 2 now. The roll of the council will be called by the minute clerk for the purpose of electing a president pro tem of the city council. Again, as your name is called, you will respond by naming the member of the council you wish to elect to the office of the president pro tem. Mr. Carter, please call the roll.
Mr. Burnson,
Galanter.
Ms. Chick,
Ruth Galanter.
Mr. Ferraro, Mr. Fuhrer,
Galanter.
Ms. Galanter,
Your time is up.
Mr. Hernandez,
Ms. Ruth Galanter.
Mr. Holden,
Ms. Galante.
Ms. Mizikowski,
Galanter.
Mr. Pacheco,
Galanter.
Mr. Savornich. Mr. Wax. Mr. Ridley Thomas. Ms. Walters.
Galanter.
Majority of the votes having been cast for Ms. Galanter, she is the duly elected.
I think we should give our city attorney, city clerk a great hand. He knows how to call them. I want to thank my colleagues for re-electing me to the council presidency, and we hope that we can work together as we have in the past. But we're going to set some new rules, and I'll let you know about a Tuesday rather. But we must do a better job of getting here on time and staying for council meetings, because that's one of the most important things we do, is to represent our constituents at the council meetings. So with that, Ms. Galanter, we would like to congratulate you and ask you to say a few words.
No, you didn't tell me about that. Well, first of all, I would like to thank all of you, and I promise that I will do my best to get here on time. And to, when I am forced to conduct the meetings by the absence of the president, I will do my best to be fair and encourage a new experiment in this council chamber called civility. And we'll see if it works. But I think it's going to be a very interesting next 2 years. Starting immediately, and look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Galanter. Okay, the first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
All right, Mrs. Chick moves, Mr. Fuhr seconds. There's no objections, unanimous vote. Let me point out that this is a meeting of the City Council for the City of Los Angeles on the second day of July 1999. There are 15 council districts in the city. The regular meeting days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are currently being viewed by cable subscribers throughout the Los Angeles area on Channel 35, and we're also being monitored by council phone. So the next item,
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
if there's no objections, unanimous vote. We do have some presentations today, so we will go with those. Ms. Galanter, you have a presentation?
Mr. President and members of the council, I've asked this morning for the opportunity to recognize one of our city employees who has been particularly helpful in my council district, and I think in other districts as well, except I know best about my own. Mr. Roberto Duarte is a team leader with Clean and Green, everybody's favorite program, because they do things that are popular. They make the city cleaner, greener, and nicer. And back in the days when we were prosperous, you may remember we once actually doubled their budget on the spot. In this, those days are over. Don't get greedy. But the reason I wanted Roberto to come in here is that I think it's important that we have an opportunity, especially on the first day of a new term, to say thank you and to acknowledge that we have an awful lot of city employees who are working out there or sometimes inside buildings, and most people don't get to see them. Roberto has been wonderful not only in getting the job done, but he does what you would expect of a team leader. He really motivates the members of the team. He helps people develop team spirit and have a good time while they're working really, really hard and indeed making the city a much better place. And so I believe we have a number of your fans and supporters here. Would you all like to stand up? This is the team. And I want to thank all of you. This is for Roberto because he's the leader, but it's really for all of you and the hard work that you do. And keep it up. We expect you to keep doing the same thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Galanter.
That's it?
That's all.
They stick to business. Thank you. Come on, we're all going to go in the back.
Thank you, Ms. Galanter. Mr. Savornich for a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. Today is a bittersweet day at the Port of Los Angeles and here at City Hall as we bid a fond farewell to Jim Prush, who has served for the last 14 years as the Chief Financial Officer for the Port of Los Angeles, who is leaving city service to join the private sector. Jim is joining the investment banking firm of A.G. Edwards & Sons as a vice president and manager of the company's public finance office here in Los Angeles. But before we bid him a fond farewell, I would like to mention a few things that Jim has done with his tenure with the port and the city, and I believe they have truly been an asset to our two institutions. Jim's financial leadership will be tremendously missed. He oversaw the development and implementation of short-term and long-range financial planning for one of the largest and most busiest seaports in the world, the Port of Los Angeles. Through his expertise and guidance, the port has earned a AA bond rating, the highest grade assigned to any U.S. seaport operating without the benefit of taxpayer support from not one, but all three major credit rating firms. In addition, he has served as the controller for the Alameda Corridor project. Mr. President, members, you all know this being the premier surface transportation project for the new millennium and is the largest one to date in the United States of America. As we bid Jim a fond farewell, Mr. President, members, I personally can say that this gentleman has worked tirelessly and endlessly to make sure that the Port of Los Angeles indeed remains the premier port in this country and perhaps the world, and saw to it that we were financially prepared to meet the challenges not only of today, but of tomorrow as we enter the millennium in just a few short days. Mr. President, members, would you please join me in honoring a truly fine gentleman who has served the port and this city well, and to bid him farewell and good luck in his next endeavor, Mr. President, Jim Prush. You're very welcome.
Mr. President, members of council, Councilman Zavornich, it has truly been an honor and a privilege for me to serve the city as Chief Financial Officer of the Harbor Department and as Treasurer of the Alameda Corridor Transportation Authority. The opportunities that I had in doing that far exceeded anything I ever expected when I joined the city some 14 years ago. I have particularly enjoyed those opportunities, and those challenges have made it possible for me to move to this next employment opportunity, and I hope to work with many of you again in the future. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Savornich, and good luck to you. Got any good tips? Give them to Rudy, and he'll pass them on. All right, Mr. Wax for a presentation. Yeah. Too late.
Mr. President, members of council, I'm happy this morning to honor someone that all of you know here. All of you have worked with Mark Siegel on a great number of issues that affect this city. Mark is special to me because before he became the consultant for many of our city employee unions and other significant parties that work with this city government and this council. He had been my deputy for a great number of years, and in fact, Mark was the deputy who oversaw the creation of the Los Angeles Endowment for the Arts. His background stemmed back from one of the first persons to be involved in the rent stabilization movement in Southern California, and was greatly involved in the success in the implementation of the city's rent stabilization ordinance. What I wanted to recognize Mark for today is a service that he provided to this city during the 2 years in which the charter commissions were coming up with the unified charter that was ultimately approved by the voters. Mark created something called Charter Watch, which all of you are familiar with, which did an extraordinary job of trying to present all points of view at all times in a timely way to more than 1,000 subscribers who regularly looked to Charter Watch for the progress of the charter deliberations. Charter Watch was free to the subscribers, and it was provided as a public service by many of our city employee unions, the Engineers and Architects Association, SEIU Local 347, AFSCME District Council 36, the Professional Managers Association, the Unilocal 777, the Police Protective League, and the City Attorneys Association came together as a coalition of public service providers. They supported Mark and the people who worked with him, Michael Tsukamoto, Jennifer Hom, and Joe Gallagher, in putting together what I thought was an extraordinary public service of keeping all of us informed of the endless and intricate deliberations of the both charter commissions during the 2-year period. Now, they are going to embark on another publication. Instead of Charter Watch, it's going to be called City Watch. And again, it will inform Los Angeles opinion makers about the latest developments in charter implementation, in the development of the neighborhood councils, in the secession efforts, and other really significant issues that face the voters. To have a publication which is timely and unbiased and gives all points of view equal importance, to me, is an incredible public service. So I wanted to thank the coalition of public service providers for their support for this, but I wanted to particularly bring Mark here today and acknowledge his efforts in creating this Charter Watch, and to receive our debt of gratitude and our thanks for the service that he provided. I think all of us would recognize that all of us, irrespective of our points of view, benefited enormously from being able to read Charter Watch on a timely manner and look forward to reading City Watch in the same way. So Mark, because I've known you so long and I have such enormous respect for you, and because you did so much in my office as a deputy before you went out on your own, and for your continued efforts to serve this city, I wanted to present this to you with heartfelt gratitude, and it's signed by all of the council members and the mayor, and I think that I express all of our thanks at the same time that I express my own. So thank you and congratulations, and we look forward now to City Watch as well.
Thank you, Joe. Say some words and introduce the family before. Thank you. I want to express my appreciation at all the council members who have encouraged me over the 84 weekly issues that we've put out over the past 2 years. It has been really tremendous fun doing it, and I'm looking forward to the next publication, which will be arriving at your offices shortly. Before I go too much further, I wanted to introduce my family. My wife, Erica, and my daughter, Miranda. I have another daughter who's in Mexico for the month. My father-in-law, Norman Tabachnik, my mother, Elaine Siegel, my mother-in-law, Evelyn Tabachnik, and my father, Don Siegel. And I also want to thank Michael Sakamoto, who has been who works in my office and has been responsible for loading the fax machine and the email every week and laying out the Charter Watch and editing the editor. He's performed a valuable service. And lastly, I want to thank the Coalition of Public Employees that have helped me put together Charter Watch. Here today was Barbara Calhoun, president of Local 347, and Bob Duncan from Engineers and Architects have been both very supportive and stalwart supporters of the publication, as has AFSCME Council 36, the City Attorneys Association, and LIUNA 777. And I just want to thank everybody involved, and it's a real honor. A City Council resolution will rank right up next to the Pulitzer Prize that I hope to win someday.
That's good. We're going to go back and take some pictures.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Mr. Holden?
Mr. President and members of the council and the public, from time to time you heard me introduce the mayor from the city of Pasadena. He's not a council person. That's my son, Chris Holden. But today standing next to me is Reginald, my son, Reginald Holden, and he's in law enforcement. And I just step right up here, Reggie, so they can see your gun. And I'm going to have Reggie over here full time, and when he's here full time, we don't expect to have any more problems around here. It's going to work out just well. Right, Reggie? Say right.
Oh, certainly, certainly.
Reggie, I'd wish you'd come here often and keep control over him. He does get a little difficult at council meetings. Okay, the next item.
Item number 1 on the regular agenda, request to continue that matter until July 14th.
Is there any objection to continuing item number 1 until July 14th? Ms. Galanter moves. There's no objections. Unanimous vote.
Items number 17, 26, and 27, a request to withdraw from the agenda and refer to the Public Works Committee.
That's 17, 26, and 27. Is there any objections to those items? Let's do these first, Hal. Okay, there's no objections on 17, 26, and 27. Item 25, you want to refer to committee? 21. Is there any objections to referring 21 to committee? Mr. Holden?
We
Yes.
can't get a moratorium in my district. They've just, unless you vote on it today, because they got about 10 of them being proposed in the two square blocks. That's crazy.
Well, let's call it special and we'll discuss it. Okay, the next,
Item number 30, request to receive and file.
is there any objections to receiving and file 30?
Yes.
There is? All right, we'll call it special. Okay, the next item.
Item number 5 on the regular agenda is the reappointment of commissioner.
Would you, Mr. Ben Perlin, please take the center table? This is a reappointment of the Affordable Housing Commission. Is there any discussion on this? Mr. Savornich?
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to commend Commissioner Perlin for his hard work on behalf of the people of the City of Los Angeles on this commission, and I would like to so move the reconfirmation.
Is there any objection, any discussion? Mr. Bernson?
First of all, let me tell you a little bit about Ben Perlin and the type of individual that he is. If there is anybody that's ever been a fighter and somebody that's looked out for the interest of seniors, particularly those in the mobile home parks, of which there are 18 in my district, Ben has given selflessly of his time and efforts at his age fighting for the rights of others. And I'm very proud to say that he's one of my constituents. He serves on my Citizens Advisory Committee. He is my representative to the senior community. and I really appreciate the work he's done. I just want everybody to know that, and I urge his approval. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you. Prepare the roll on the reappointment. Tabulate the vote.
13 eyes.
You've been reappointed. You can smile now, Ben. Yeah, no, it's hard. Yeah. Okay. We want to thank you for serving the city.
I thank you for the opportunity.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, forthwith on that.
He withdrew his opposition at 21. He wants to vote on it.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Bernson has withdrawn his opposition to 21, so prepare the roll on 21. Prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 eyes.
That is approved. Next item.
Items number 2 through 4 on the regular agenda are items for which public hearings have been held. Item number 4 has an amending motion.
Okay, item number 4 has an amending motion. Who brought that in?
Councilmember Fuhr.
What do we have? Has that been passed out yet?
Yes, it has.
4A, yeah. All right, any discussion on 2 or 3? Seeing none, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 eyes.
Those are approved. Item 4, we have an amending motion. Mr. Fuhr, would you explain what your amending motion is? Mr. Fuhr, your amending motion on 4?
Yes, can you just hold on for 1 second, John? I'll come right back.
Okay, we'll call it special. Next item.
Items numbers 6 through 29 are for items for which public hearings have not been held.
6 through 29. We have cards on 12, we have cards on 25, and we have cards on 30.
13 go to Public Works Committee.
Okay, well, let's see if there's any public hearing first. Anybody want to be heard on any of those items other than the ones I called out? Seeing none, the public hearing's closed. Item
13.
Item 13 to committee. Is there any objections to that? If not, that will be the order. Any specials by council members? We have 6 through 29, with the exception of 12, 13, 17, 25, 26, and 27 be referred to committee. Tabulate the vote on the balance.
13 eyes.
Those are approved. Huh? No, which called special. We have a card.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item.
Item number 4 called special.
All right, Mr. Fuhr's still on the phone, so let's take up item 12. Jack Walsh. Jack Walsh wants to be heard on this item. 12.
First, I'd like to say that this place is freezing. Is there any way you can turn up the temperature? Notice how warmly dressed the city council is. This place is as frigid as the relationship between Hillary Clinton and her husband. That's how frigid this place is. I'd like to finish by saying this is a deal, this Corps of Engineering. It's through MTA. You know who the lobbyist for Corps was? Derek Alatorre, Richard Alatorre's son. What you're doing here is awarding Friends of Richard Alatorre with a contract through the mayor and through the MTA board. That's, as we know, when Alatorre was here, all he did was get his friends' contracts. Thank you.
Okay, we have item number 12 before us. Any discussion on that? Ms. Galanter?
Well, it says in the agenda, if I'm reading the right one here, that there's been no Neither the chief legislative analyst nor the city administrative officer has completed a financial analysis of this report. Is that something we ought to have?
Where's Mr. Deaton? Let's hold it on the desk until Deaton gets back, and we'll ask him. Oh, there he is.
This is just a reward extension for that fellow's show that Patriot House.
Hmm?
I think, looking at the file, it does not appear, I think Department of Transportation's indicated what the financial, I would agree with the fiscal impact that they have here, which is basically that MTA funds would be paid, reimburse 80% of the cost, and that the city will pay 20%. It's $550,000. That's fiscal impact of $110,000.
So, all right, so there's no reason to wait
No.
for any additional financial.
I don't think
Thank
so.
you.
Have item number 12, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 eyes.
Those are forthwith on that. Forthwith on 18 and 19 also. The next one, we have card on 25, John Welch.
That's not my name. My name is Fred Welch. I'd like to say to you, they don't call me the prophet of LA for no reason. I'd like you to realize what's going to be happening when the Alameda Corridor starts. You know who has the contract? Ron Tudor. Look at last Sunday's edition of the San Francisco Chronicle for a expose of Ron Tudor. The LA Times isn't going to do it, but Willie Brown, false minority fronts, and Ron Tudor on the front page of the San Francisco Chronicle. Get it in the internet. This has been called a 10 to 12 mile dry land Panama Canal through Los Angeles. I'm telling you right now that the problems we had in Hollywood with construction impacts will pale compared to this, because they're in a hurry. They have to finish by a date. Ron Tudor has bought out a lot of politicians, and they are going to destroy L.A. You watch. I was right on Hollywood. I was right on Vermont. I was right every time I predicted construction disaster. Watch the Alameda Corridor like a hawk so it doesn't happen here. Thank you.
Okay, we have item 25, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 eyes.
That is approved. Forthwith on that item. Next item.
Item number 30, called special.
Item number 30, we have John Walsh. If your name is differently, you should put it differently.
Poor handwriting. And I just want, don't worry, I'm only here because it's a day off from work. I won't be haunting you. I'm going back to work next week. I'm not a senior citizen. Thank you, back to work. Thank the LAUSD for that. I'd like to point out that I think you're doing a good job on CRA. I think the thing to do is to take it over. John Malloy came from Sacramento. He didn't do the job. Now, I don't believe, none of us, I'm a member of the Hollywood Project Area Committee, in privatizing. But Reardon is right. The agency has fallen apart. And you know, Mr. Ferrara, for one reason, because of your former colleague, Mr. Bernardi's lawsuit, which diverted money away from CRA back to the city and the county and various governmental agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's get rid of the CRA. Mayor Reardon ran on abolishing the CRA board. Let's start by getting rid of the CRA board and have accountability. Isn't that the watchword? Accountability. Not from the mayor's stooges, but from the 15 people who were elected, so we can have CRA meetings here and you can decide who gets the contracts. Thank you.
We're not stooges, and yeah. Hey, John, yeah, I wanted to remind you that, John Walsh, I wanted to remind you that I was opposed to the Metro Rail before it ever started, and you weren't there. You weren't there.
Father of the anti-Metro Rail protesters. Thank you.
Okay, we have item number 30 before us. Mr. Savornich?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. I know that this item is going to ultimately be a receive and file, but I think this would be an appropriate occasion to mention the circumstances that have led to this, I believe, very sad day in the city of Los Angeles. On Wednesday, this item was continued till today. And, on Tuesday, this item was continued till today. And this report today was to ask the CRA to report on the status of the contract between the Community Redevelopment Agency Board of Commissioners and the administrator. Well, as we all know in city government, Mr. Malloy, the administrator, retired on Wednesday. The reasons for his retirement remain within he, but I do believe, Mr. President, members of the council, that the delay in regards to what his future would be, his unwillingness to decimate the agency as he was being requested to do, as well as a whole bunch of other issues in regards to the agency, eventually led to his departure. You can only run up against a brick wall so many times, and then eventually you realize either you are going to do damage to yourself or that you're not going to get anywhere. Mr. President, members of the council, the Community Redevelopment Agency, as I said last Tuesday, is the agency that brings hope to communities across the city that are in most desperate need of it. In the last 2 weeks, 15 high-ranking officials with the CRA have departed. Where it has been most noticeable is that we have lost a lot of talent that are currently or did serve those areas most in need. We lost the deputy administrator who was in charge of the South Los Angeles Renaissance. We have lost the administrator. Yesterday, the agency in executive session could not come up with a decision to place an interim administrator. So right now, we don't have even an interim administrator. When we had a vacancy in administration last time, we asked that the city administrative officer be the interim administrator. We don't even have a city administrative officer right now. And this is the agency that is supposed to be overseeing redevelopment and bring the promise of hope to our communities. Mr. President, members of the council, I think this issue in regards to the administrator was handled very poorly. I think that the budget issue has been handled very poorly. A while back when we had a consolidation plan before this city council, there are many who felt we were moving too fast in regards to economic development consolidation in this city. But Mr. President, it seems that the only thing that we have moved fast on is to encourage very talented, capable people that we recruited to come to this city to help economic development in this city. We've helped them out the door. And I think it's a sad day for Los Angeles. I think that this has to turn around. And Mr. President, members of the council, with a great deal of regret, I move that we receive and file item number 30.
Receive and file number 30. All right, Mr. Ridley Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. The remarks made by the chairman of HCR are those that we ought to pay close attention to. Mr. Hernandez and I have had a conversation about this issue, and for those of us who are intensely focused on redevelopment, revitalization, economic development in our respective districts, are deeply concerned about how it is we expect to move forward with respect to those particular issues, those initiatives, absent the most potent resource available to local government, and that is redevelopment. I would say to you that we ought to renew our efforts to focus on how it is we define in a more clear and effective fashion the economic development agenda for not only the city but indeed our respective districts. I conclude by saying without a leader at the Community Redevelopment Agency, without a commission that is intimately familiar with the issues of redevelopment, without a staff that is prepared to energetically pursue redevelopment in the project areas, some 31 throughout the city of Los Angeles. Those project areas, our constituents are being let down, and indeed economic development in those areas in which it may be most sorely needed is at risk. And to the extent that that is the case, I should think this should become much higher on our radar screen with respect to how it is that we correct this. I, for one, Mr. President, members of the council, am very concerned about leaving this in the hands of those outside of the individuals who are duly elected and ultimately held responsible and or accountable for what happens in the districts in which they serve. I call it to your attention in support of the chairman of the Community and Redevelopment and Housing Committee, as well as the chairman of the Community Economic Development Committee, because these are in fact critical times, critical issues from North Hollywood to San Pedro. The same issue is in play. These projects are indeed at risk.
Mr. Holden?
Mr. President, I reluctantly vote to receive and file item 30 as relates to Mr. John Malloy. I've been around here 12 years, and prior thereto, there was very little or perhaps no interest in revitalizing the inner city. Most of the interest and resources went elsewhere, and it's visible for us to see downtown, Century City, other major parts of the valley where it's booming economically, and yet, Mr. President, in the inner city, we're neglected. But under the leadership of Mr. Malloy, and I hope it will not be lost because he's no longer with us, we turned that around. We began to develop the plans and programs to, yes, have economic development in our inner cities. Just on the drawing board in my district alone, let alone the 8th, 9th, or the 1st, or the 14th, or the 7th, but in the 10th district, Mr. President, members, we have upward of $500 million plus that we can get started right away. Now, with Mr. Malloy leaving, I just hope the commission understands that we're not going to take one step backwards. We cannot take this lying down. That the people will not accept it. They're judging all of us, those of us who are elected and those who are appointed as they are. So we hope that the next person stepping into the shoes of Ms. Malloy will be just as concerned and conscientious about moving the inner city forward as he was, as he demonstrated that he could ably do. So, Mr. President, members, I will vote to receive and file this motion, but with regret.
Mr. Hernandez.
Mr. President, members of the council, Mr. Malloy's sudden resignation kind of caught me off guard. And some of the additional leadership leaving the agency caught me off guard. And when I say that, it's because I also know that under the Community Economic Development Department, CDD, the reality is there's been a depletion of leadership in regards to economic development. And so what we have right now is a leadership gap in the Community Development Agency, which I think means a lot to the central city of Los Angeles, at a time when something like the Staples Center is being developed, at a time when we're dealing with the issue of the Coliseum, at a time when the city continued to grow in its business improvement districts because of the leadership being provided by the CRA. I know that we just recently adopted CRA areas on the east side of town in the 14th Councilmatic District represented by Mr. Pacheco. We also adopted a new CRA area in the Westlake area of my district. And the projects that are pending basically need the leadership that was being provided by the redevelopment agency. And it was part of an ongoing strategy that right now is in limbo. I kind of share that because this partnership goes beyond the commission that oversees CRA. It goes beyond this council, but also includes the mayor's office. As we've been basically standing here promoting economic development in the city, it was by use of the tools. I don't know of a single tax increment project that's been funded in the city that didn't have the heavy input and participation of CRA. And so right now, my question is, what are we doing in the status of limbo? How is it that we're going to fill that leadership gap? And what are the plans that are being implemented? I say that because I think it's important that the mayor's office communicate to this body what they plan to do. And so in substitution of us receiving and filed, and I understand the need for us to receive and file the motion that's currently before us, I'd like to request that the deputy mayor and the mayor in charge of economic development report to this body as to what is going to happen, what will be the inclusionary process of us dealing with this leadership that's going on in the city. We as a council, in putting together our plans to deal with consolidation of an economic development strategy, have included the mayor's office, and we're asking to be included in their plans. But I think there has to be a dialogue as to how we fill this gap and how we deal with it immediately. Because too many of us in those partnerships, and again, I know the mayor has identified the Genesis project as a priority, and those are 11 economic development sites, many of them in the CRA areas. And so again, I am concerned because our grant process application is impacted because of CRA. And again, that leadership gap has to be filled. And so I do offer as a substitute motion, besides receiving and file this, that we ask for an immediate report from the mayor's office, hopefully by next week, as to what some of the strategies are for us to fill this leadership gap at this time, so that hopefully we can work hand in hand in a partnership. And that's my motion at this time. And I think it was seconded by Mr. Sawernich.
Okay. Anyone else want to be heard on this? The motion now is Mr. Sawernich.
File the issue in regards to Mr. Malloy, and Mr. Hernandez's motion is to request that the office of the mayor report back on the economic development issues.
Okay, prepare the roll on that. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That is approved. Next item,
Item number 4.
Mr. Fuhr, item 4, your amending
Yes, thank you,
motion.
Mr. President. The amending motion is very straightforward. We need to have this has to do with our allocation of tobacco funds. We need to have a place into which to put the $4 million that will be devoted to creating recreational opportunities in underserved areas. This amending motion merely creates a healthy alternatives to smoking trust fund for that purpose.
Not according to the Times.
Okay, Mr. Deaton.
Ordinance before you today.
Yeah. So move unanimous support.
Okay, well, let's, we got to vote on the amendment first. We vote on 4 as amended. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That is approved. Forthwith on that item. Next item,
Now's the time for public comment.
we're done. See, if the council comes in on time, it's not bad. Bernard Johnson. Bernard Johnson wants to be heard, and then John Welch. If I'm mispronouncing your name, it's because you write it John Welch. Walsh.
Well, let me see if I could get myself together. Mr. Ferraro, you have on your desk what I would like to address. the Ralph Bunche Home and the funding of the Ralph Bunche Home. It is not that I'm opposed to the restoration of the Ralph Bunche Home. I am opposed to giving it to the Dunbar Economic Development Corporation, which they got possession through adverse possession. The Dunbar Museum Board bought the Ralph Bunche Home in 1978, I think it was. And the money came out of the pockets of the board, not through grants, not through gifts, the pockets of the board. In the long process, the Dunbar Museum was in the process of restoring the Dunbar Hotel under the administration of Mayor Tom Bradley. I am and is presently the president of the Dunbar Museum. I am the founder and the director of the Dunbar Museum. I am also a founding board member of the Dunbar Economic Board. And I was there supposedly for a lifetime. In the process of restoring the Dunbar Museum, we had to sell our tax credit to the National Equity Fund. In selling our tax credit, we hired what we thought was the legal mind of Ridden and McKenzie at the tune of $25,000. It became necessary for us to find another nonprofit organization in order to sell our tax credits. The tax credit was sold to the National Equity Fund out of Chicago. In negotiating the sale, it was recommended that the Dunbar Economic Board has to come up with equity funding. Since it is an embryonic organization, obviously they had no funds. The Dunbar Museum owned the Ralph Bunche Home, so we executed a deed of trust. Paper, it was only a paper matter, to the Dunbar Economic Board against the Dunbar Hotel Ralph Bunche Home. They later decided to kick all the founding members of the Dunbar Museum and also the original founders of the Dunbar Economic Board. Then, after they were successful in that, they executed on a deed of trust, which was advised to us by Ridden and McKenzie. When we discovered what they were doing, there was no equity, there was no money, there was no money at all. It was just a paper transaction. Now, let me be very short. I'm not against the restoration of the Ralph Bunche Home. I am against the funding through the Dunbar Economic Board because I think it was done through adverse possession.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, John Walsh.
I hope everyone sees this wonderful headline on the Friday newspaper for all environmentalists. DreamWorks kills studio plan for Playa Vista. I remember we used to have an environmentalist. She got elected to the city council at crashing economic defeat for you and for the forces that want to destroy Los Angeles. Ms. Galanter, you should be hanging your head because this Jill Stewart and the New Times and the environmentalists wiped the floor of the phony West Side liberals. And I'd like you to know, Mr. Fuhrer, I'd like to invite you down to Koreatown. You only go down there to harass to harass when he was running for office, Nate Holden. You only go into that area, into the black and the Korean area, to tell blacks and Koreans how to vote. They don't go into your area to tell your ethnic group how to vote because well, I think there's an R word to describe that. Incidentally, Rocky Delgadillo is the deputy mayor in charge of economic development. You want to know why he's not here now? He's with the mayor because the mayor is raising money for him to run against Jackie Goldberg for the seat of Antonio Villaraigosa. Did you know that? Yes, he's going to be running for that seat, and he's much too busy with running to get into Sacramento than he is to do anything about the CRA. I'll finish by saying, Mr. Pacheco, I want to congratulate you. No one has said hello to your new member, Mr. Pacheco. I have one thing that Mr. Pacheco should do right now. You should do a deep vacuuming of your rug. Your rug in Alatorre's offices is full of cocaine residue. So you must remove cocaine residue. Remember, I accused him of being a cocaine addict. The judges did the test. He was a cocaine addict. Do a good job, Mr. Pacheco. And, of course, Henry Lozano was the man who put Mr. Pacheco in there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a wonderful 2 years. I hope it gets a little warmer here. I've tried to raise the heat. Thank you.
Okay, that's all the cards we have. Public comment period is closed. Next item.
Council members' request from excuse from attendance at council meetings. Councilmember Fuhr requests to leave at noon on August 20th for personal business. This requires a motion.
It'd be appreciated if council members will stay until the council meeting is over with in the future, but a unanimous vote on that one time.
Councilmember Walters requests to be excused for city business on July 6th.
Unanimous vote.
Councilmember Wax requests to be excused on July 6th for personal business.
Ms. Galanter moves, unanimous vote.
The desk is clear.
We have some adjourning motions, so would everyone please stand? Members of the council, I'd ask we adjourn in memory of Dr. Ivan Titzholz, who passed away. He served patients in the San Fernando Valley for more than 50 years. Tejalis.
I'd like to be a co-author.
He was one of the founders of the Northridge Hospital, served on the board of directors of the Louis Pasteur Foundation, and served as president of the Project Hope Overseas Hospital and the board of governors of the International Wine and Food Society. That's quite a combination. He leaves his wife Barbara, sons, and daughters. And I'd also
gin player too.
I'd also ask that we adjourn in memory of Martha Goldbach Fitzgerald, who passed away. She leaves her husband Bill, who was at one time the director of the museum and science and industry. Leaves the daughters and sons. I ask that we adjourn in their memory. Mr. Fuhr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that we adjourn in memory of Rabbi Isaac Yellen, who was a noted Talmudic scholar and a leader in the Orthodox Jewish community here in Los Angeles and nationally. Rabbi Yellen was born in Poland after a distinguished educational academic background and career. He became the rabbi at Mishkon Tefillah Synagogue in Santa Monica. Later, thank you. Later, he was the rabbi at Etz Jacob in the Beverly Fairfax area. He also was the founder of some important philanthropic organizations, including the SOS Exceptional Children Youth Foundation and the Circle Y Ranch Residential Facility, where thousands of, especially of youth who had been incarcerated and were on the wrong foot, were rehabilitated, educated, and cared for.
Second on that.
He was also awarded in 1996 the Lifetime Achievement Award from Young Israel of Century City, a very distinguished leader. The funeral services are taking place as this council convenes today. He is survived by his sons, Dr. Albert Yellen, Dr. Mark Yellen, and of course, Ira Yellen, and by 6 grandchildren.
All members, Mr. President.
Ms. Com-
I'd like to join in that.
Any other members? Ms. Walters?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask the council to adjourn in memory of Mr. Elton Moore. Mr. Moore was, in years past, he grew up in the 9th Council District. He graduated from Jefferson High School, was employed by Jefferson High School, and coached Pop Warner for Jefferson High School. He was 58 years old and succumbed due to a massive heart attack. He is survived by 2 sons, 2 grandsons, and his wife, Verlene, who was my administrative assistant at the school board. And I ask the council adjourn in memory of his work.
Call the roll. Aye, the council is adjourned.